Hello ma'am, my first question is what is heat balance sheet? Second question, solve one problem for heat balance sheet.
Let us first understand what is the heat balance sheet. In heat balance sheet, heat supplied by 1 kilogram of dry fuel is balanced with the various parameters of the heat consumed. Now if we observe heat supplied by 1 kilogram of dry fuel, that means we should not consider the moisture content in the fuel. So whenever there is the moisture present in fuel, then we have to subtract that moisture content. And the heat supplied by 1 kilogram of dry fuel, that is nothing but the calorific value of the fuel. Now we will understand what are the various parameters of the heat consumed. Now what is the main purpose of the steam boiler? So why the heat is getting supplied to the steam boiler? Because we have to convert the feed water into the steam. So that steam may be in the form of wet steam, dry and saturated steam or superheated steam. So first parameter for the heat consumption that we have to take heat utilized in raising the steam. That means feed water is getting converted into steam. So this is the first parameter, we will say X1. Then second is heat lost in dry flue gas. So after the combustion, flue gas is getting generated and the some heat is carried away with the flue gas, and we have to consider the heat lost in dry flue gas. Third parameter is heat lost in moisture in fuel. So when the moisture is present in fuel, then that moisture is getting converted into the water vapors and some heat is getting lost with the moisture in the fuel, and we will say this parameter is X3. Then heat lost due to combustion of hydrogen. So when hydrogen is present in fuel, then there is the combustion of the hydrogen and hydrogen combines with oxygen. Then there is the formation of H2O, or we can say water. So some heat is lost due to combustion of hydrogen, we will say X4. Then heat loss due to unburnt carbon in ash pit. So the carbon is present in the fuel and there is some unburnt carbon remains in ash pit. So some heat is lost due to this unburnt carbon, and this parameter we will say X5. Then heat loss due to incomplete combustion. So here we will take the incomplete combustion of carbon. That means when there is the complete combustion of carbon, then carbon dioxide is getting formed. But due to incomplete combustion of carbon, when carbon combines with oxygen, carbon monoxide is getting formed and there is some heat loss. So we will say this heat consumption, that is X6. Then heat loss due to radiation. Now it is difficult to calculate because due to radiation there is the heat loss. So suppose we consider the heat supplied by the 1 kilogram of dry fuel is capital X. Then from this capital X we have to subtract the addition of all these parameters, that is X minus in the bracket X1 plus X2 plus X3 plus X4 plus X5 plus X6. Then the remaining is the heat loss due to radiation. So in this way the heat supplied and heat consumed is getting balanced, and we have to prepare the sheet for this, and this is known as the heat balance sheet. Now we will solve one problem to prepare the heat balance sheet with the help of phase change process of water diagram. We will move for the given data. So first it is given that the temperature of steam, that is equal to 10 bar. So this phase change process of water is taking place at constant pressure. So we will say that this process is taking place at 10 bar. So I will mention here the constant pressure is 10 bar. Now at this 10 bar pressure we will find out what are the value of HF and HFG. So from the steam table, if we move for the pressure table, then in the first column pressure is given. So for 10 bar we have to write the value of HF and HFG. So I will write here 762.6 here kilojoule per kilogram, and HFG, that is equal to 2013.6 kilojoule per kilogram. Now next is steam condensed. So here the mass of steam condensed is given 540 kilogram per hour. That is, in 1 hour steam condensed is 540 kilogram. So we will say that MS. Then fuel used. So fuel used is given 65 kilogram per hour. That is the mass of fuel given. So we will say MF. So here also pressure of steam we will give letter P. Then moisture in fuel. So here moisture in fuel 2% by mass. That means moisture is present in fuel, and we have to consider while calculation of heat supplied by fuel, that is the dry fuel. So whenever we are going to calculate the mass of dry fuel, then we have to subtract this moisture content from the fuel. So here it is 2% by mass. That is, we will say here 2%, that means 0.02 kilogram. So by mass is there, so we will use here as a kilogram. Then mass of dry flue gas. So here mass of dry flue gas is given 9 kilogram per kilogram of fuel. So we will say M to the base G. So for dry flue gas we will use here the suffix G. Lower calorific value of fuel, it is 32,000 kilojoule per kilogram. So calorific value we will show with letter C. Then temperature of flue gas. So here the temperature of flue gas is given. So for the temperature we will use T, and for flue gas we will use the suffix G. So Tg is equal to 325 degrees Celsius. Then the temperature of boiler house. So temperature of boiler house 28 degrees Celsius. So for boiler house we will use the suffix B. So Tb is equal to 28 degrees Celsius. Now for the temperature of boiler house we will find out what is the enthalpy at this temperature. So we will use here the temperature table. So in the first column temperature is given. We will refer here the 28 degrees Celsius. And for this 28 degrees Celsius, we will take the value of HF, that is 117.3, that is HB. 117.3 kilojoule per kilogram. So what is happening in the boiler? So feed water is getting converted into dry and saturated steam. So here in the boiler house the temperature is 28 degrees Celsius. So HB is equal to 117.3 kilojoule per kilogram. Then feed water temperature. So whenever the water is getting entered in the boiler, then it is at the saturated water level, and at this temperature is given 50 degrees Celsius. So at this 50 degrees Celsius, from the steam table we will find out what is the enthalpy. So this feed water temperature we will say T1. We will give here the suffix 1. So T1 is there, that is 50 degrees Celsius. So HF1 is equal to 209.3 kilojoule per kilogram. Now how we will understand this feed water temperature? With this diagram. Now if we observe, say suppose here the water is at 20 degrees Celsius. Then this water is getting heated, and whenever it is getting heated, its temperature is getting increased. So heat addition process is taking place and temperature is also getting increased. So we will show this process with the help of inclined line. Now what is happening at point A? So point A is nothing but the saturated water stage. So at this point, that is the saturated water stage, when we continue to add the heat, the water is getting converted into steam. So temperature will remain same, and this temperature, that is known as the boiling point of the water at a given pressure. So here the pressure is maintained, that is 10 bar, and at the 10 bar what is the boiling water temperature, or we can say feed water temperature, is 50 degrees Celsius. That is given. So at this point A is nothing but the feed water temperature, and it is known as T1. So T1 is equal to 50 degrees Celsius, and at this particular point we have to find out the HF1, that is 209.3. So when we continue to add the heat, then the temperature will remain constant, and the heat added is used to convert the water in the steam, and this heat addition is used to phase change process, and that's why it is known as the latent heat. So this heat remains constant until all the water is getting converted into dry and saturated steam. So point B is at the dry and saturated steam, and here the pressure will remain constant throughout the process, and at 10 bar pressure here this point is nothing but Hg. That is the point B. So in between A and B, steam is wet steam, and again if we continue to add the heat after point B, then the steam will be converted into superheating steam because its temperature is again getting increased. So this is all about the process. So in the boiler, this evaporation process is taking place in between A and B, as the feed water is getting entered at this 50 degrees Celsius, and then the next is evaporation process is taking place. Then we will move to the next point, mean specific heat of gas. So mean specific heat of gas, that is we will say Cp. Cp is given, so for gas we will also say Cpg. So Cp is given 1 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin, and dryness fraction, so dryness fraction X is also given 0.95. So we can say that here the steam formed is the wet steam because the dryness fraction of steam is given, and it is 0.95. So steam formed maybe is in between the point A and B. Say suppose this point, then enthalpy is nothing but the, we will say that enthalpy is H, and we have to find out the enthalpy H for the wet steam. Now we will move for the calculation part. First, we will calculate what is the heat supplied by 1 kilogram of dry fuel. So here the word dry is there, that means if the moisture is present, then we have to subtract this moisture. So moisture present is 2%, that is 0.02 kilogram. So we will take here the 1 kilogram of fuel, and out of that 1 kilogram we will minus 0.02 kilogram. So for this fuel, we have to find out what is the calorific value. So heat supplied by fuel is nothing but the calorific value. So calorific value is also given 32,000. So 1 minus 0.02 multiplied by 32,000, which is equal to 31,360 kilo. Here kilojoule, because heat supplied is there, so kilojoule is there. So this is the heat supplied. Now out of this total heat supplied, what are the different ways for the heat consumption, that we have to find out, and we have to balance this heat supplied with the heat consumption. So first, heat consumption is there, that is the heat utilized in raising the steam per kilogram of fuel. So in boiler, when the feed water is supplied in the boiler at 50 degrees Celsius, then it is converted into wet steam. So enthalpy for the wet steam I will say H, and enthalpy of the feed water, that is HF1. So what is the heat utilized? So the difference in between this H and HF1, that is nothing but the heat utilized in raising the steam. So this feed water is getting converted into the wet steam per kilogram of fuel, that we have to calculate. So what is the formula? So formula is Me in the bracket H minus HF1, where H is the enthalpy of wet steam, and here this process of evaporation is taking place at constant pressure, that is 10 bar. So at 10 bar we have to find out what is the value of HF and HFG, that we have already calculated or find out from the steam table. So we will take those values, and we will also take the value of X, that is given. Now what is this Me? So that is the mass of water getting evaporated. So here this value is not directly given, but ms, that is the mass of steam and mass of fuel, is given. So here 540 divided by 65, that is 8.31 kilogram. So if we observe the mass of steam and mass of fuel, we have to verify that its unit should be same. So both units will be getting cancelled. So if we observe mass of steam and mass of fuel 540 by 65, these are the flow rates per hour is given. So both are having the same unit. So we will take the ratio and ME is equal to 8.31 kilogram. So we have to take this. Then here HF and HFG, these values we have to take at 10 bar pressure. Then X dryness fraction, and HF1 is the enthalpy for the feed water, that is HF1 at 50 degrees Celsius. So all the values we have already seen from the steam table. We have to put those values and the answer is 20,495 kilojoule. Then next we will calculate heat carried away by dry flue gas. So how to calculate? So here is the formula, that is heat carried away by the dry flue gas. So after combustion, flue gas is generated and some heat is carried away by this flue gas. So it is mCp and temperature difference. So what is the temperature difference? Temperature difference in between this boiler room temperature and the temperature of the flue gas, that we have to take. M, that is the mass of the flue gas. Cp, that is the specific heat of the flue gas, that we have to take. So mg, that is given 9. Then Cpg, that is specific heat of the flue gas, is also given 1. Then temperature of the flue gas is 325 and temperature of the boiler room, that is 28 degrees. So we have to take all these parameters and answer is 2673 kilojoule. So this is the second heat consumption. Then heat carried away by moisture in fuel. So we know that there is the moisture present in fuel and that is 2%. So what is the heat carried away by moisture? So here is the formula, mm, that is the mass of this moisture, that is 0.02 kilogram, in the bracket 2676. So this number is fixed, plus CPS. So here Cp is the specific heat of superheated steam, that we have to consider. So remember here CPS, and this is not given, so we will consider here 2.1. This is the specific heat of the superheated steam, because we are going to consider that the moisture that is present in fuel, that is converted into the superheated steam. So remember here, if this specific heat is not mentioned, but we have to take here the specific heat of superheated steam only, because it is considered that when moisture is present in fuel, then due to the combustion process it will be converted into the superheated steam. So we have to consider here CPS. In the bracket we have to take Tg minus 100. So Tg, that is the temperature of flue gas, minus 100 minus Hb. So what is this Hb? That is the enthalpy due to the boiler room temperature. So enthalpy at 28 degrees Celsius, that we have to write here. So this is the formula, and this formula is important. Now we will put the value 0.02 in the bracket 2676 plus 2.1, 325 minus 100 minus 117.3, which is equal to 60.6 kilojoule. Now if we observe the other losses when the incomplete combustion of carbon or due to carbon present in the ash pit, so these losses are not mentioned, or the information is not getting mentioned in the given question. So we are not going to consider those losses. Then the last one is the heat lost by radiation. So heat lost by radiation, that is nothing but heat supplied minus addition of the all the heat consumption. So we will take here, that is 31360 minus in the bracket 20495 plus 2673 plus 60.6, which is equal to 8131.4 kilojoule. here the heat balance sheet is prepared. So in the first column we have to write heat supplied, that is heat supplied by 1 kilogram of dry fuel, that we have calculated in kilojoule 31,360. So here total is 31,360 kilojoule. Now we will write the heat consumption or heat expenditure. So first one is the heat utilized in raising steam. It is 20,495. Now how to convert it into percentage? So out of total 31,360, heat consumption is 20,495. So I will plot here, out of 31,360, heat consumption is 20,495. So in percentage, out of 100, what is the percentage? Question mark. So how to find out this value of x? So x is equal to, we will say x multiplied by 31,360 is equal to 20495 multiplied by 100 divided by, again we will take 31360. So this calculation we have to take, and then we will get 65.35%. Then in the same way we will plot the next, that is heat carried away by flue gas 2673 kilojoule, then percentage is 8.53. Then heat carried away by moisture 60.C, that is 0.19%. Then heat lost by radiation 8131.4, that is 25.93%. Now when we add this heat expenditure, then here total is same as heat supplied 31,360, and if we add all the percentage, then we will get the 100%. So this is the heat balance sheet. Now we will understand remaining formulas. So heat loss due to combustion of H2 per kilogram of fuel. So whenever the hydrogen, that is H2, is present in fuel, then during the combustion it combines with oxygen and it will form H2O. So due to formation of H2O, there is the heat loss. So in the same way as we consider, whenever the moisture is present in fuel, then it will be converted into superheated steam. So here also we have to take this conversion of H2O, and then again it will be converted into the superheated steam. Now instead of mass of moisture that is present in fuel, we have to find out how much H2O that is getting formed. So we will write here the equation or the fuel analysis by mass. So H2 when combines with O2, it will give us H2O. So to balance, we will give here 2H2 plus 1O2, which will give us 2H2O. Now we will give here the molecular weight. So 2 multiplied by 2 plus 32 will give us 2 multiplied by 18. That is oxygen O is 16 and hydrogen H2 is 2. That is 16 plus 2, that is 18. So 4 plus 32 will give us 36. So here we have to find out for 1 kilogram of H2. For the combustion of 1 kilogram of H2. So I will divide both sides by 4. So we will get 1 kilogram of H2 combines with 8 kilogram of oxygen and it will give us 9 kilogram of H2O. So here we have to take the 9 kilogram. That means heat lost is equal to 9 multiplied by H2. That is the amount of H2 water, because here for 1 kilogram of H2 it will give us the 9 times that is H2O. So for 9 multiplied by H2. And in the bracket we have to repeat the same formula for the moisture content, heat lost by the moisture present in fuel. The same formula we will repeat, that is 2676 plus CPS, that is the specific heat of superheated steam, in the bracket Tg, that is the temperature of flue gas, minus 100 minus Hb. So Hb is the enthalpy due to the boiler room temperature. So the same formula is there. Instead of mm we have to write, that is the mass of moisture, we have to write 9H2. Then we will move for the next formula, heat loss due to unburnt carbon in ash pit. So in ash pit, suppose there is the unburnt carbon, then how to find out the heat lost? So we have to find out what is the mass of that unburnt carbon and what is the calorific value of that carbon. So calorific value of carbon we will say C1 and mass of this unburnt carbon we will say M1. So M1 is mass of carbon in ash pit and C1 is the calorific value of carbon. Then next is heat loss due to incomplete combustion of carbon. That means instead of generation of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide is getting generated due to insufficient oxygen for the combustion. Now how to find out the heat lost? So we can say that whenever there is the formation of carbon monoxide, then that carbon monoxide we will find it in the flue gases. Okay, then we will find out M2 into C2. So M2 means mass of carbon monoxide in the flue gas. So we have to measure what is the mass of carbon monoxide that is present in flue gas, and C2 that is the calorific value of carbon monoxide. So these are the remaining formulas that we have to consider whenever there is the unburnt carbon or incomplete combustion of carbon that is mentioned in the question. Then we will use this formula and we will solve the question.